Good afternoon, race fans, and this is a continuation video from the last one that I posted. So go and check that out first for some context behind the video detail that I'm going to go to now. So I'm specifically talking about two sets of pallets that have really made my life hard this week. And if you can learn something from it, and we're definitely learning something from it, then so be it. So one was a particularly troublesome customer just through probably my lack of knowledge and their lack of knowing what they're doing. I could be wrong, and I'm not going to name names because I'm not going to be rude, but it's just an experience that I'm going through and learning, so I'm pushing that onto you. And also a pallet that, you know, really was close to making me feel like I'd really had my pants pulled down, but then to be honest, there is no way of knowing, and the customer could probably have felt that way too. It's a really strange one, but what it has done is allowed us to really tighten up what we do. So again, everything we're doing is learning to the point where I'm passing this knowledge on to you, but we're also using it in-house. So, okay, let's start with story number one. Please make sure that you like and subscribe, and if you like this video, it boosts it up a little bit on YouTube as well, but go and check out the previous video because this will not make sense. So we shipped well, I've been trying to ship a pallet now for about a week. And now it's the pallet that went for £400. It was a really top price for the pallet. It was auction based, so they bid it up that far. And to be perfectly honest, is it worth that much? I'm skeptical, but you know, it probably might be. It may well be. I don't know, you know, how other people's business is set up. But what I did, so I saw it sold for £400 and went, wow, is this an eBay non-seller? Because I've had that. And you know, they just bid it up and then just disappear, or they go, oh, that was my son. So sure, I thought, okay, well, my payment terms, I want payment within 24 hours, and then it needs to be picked up within, I don't know, 3 days or something. So it sold for £400, and I'm like, okay, it's not been paid for overnight. Next day, I reached out and said, right, really thanks for buying, let me know if you're gonna pay, or when were you gonna pay? And later on that day, it still hadn't, and I was really thinking about, oh, I've just been sort of, I don't know, fun and games, so I'll relist it. And then sure enough, bang, it went and paid. Wow, I was shocked. I really was, I was shocked. So I reached out and said, oh, are you gonna come pick it up? And they're like, no, I've just read the listing. You bid for it and you paid for it. You've just read the listing. I can't pick it up, I haven't got a car. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, right, I said, so I can get it sent to you, but it's an additional cost. Where are you? Not far away. It was about 60, 70 quid, I can't remember. So, and they were like, oh my God. I was like, okay, do you want to cancel it, maybe? They're like, no, we'll have that. I was like, okay. Well, I'm stuffed now because you paid for it. Normally, I have to complete the invoice and add the shipping. So I'm like, what do I do now? I can't send another invoice. I can't send a PayPal link. I can't do anything like that because eBay restricts all your messages, so it has to go through eBay. So I'm stuck and I don't know what to do. So I went to them and said, I'll create a listing for £50. I said, you know what? You've paid over the odds. In my honest, I'm too honest. I said, you've paid a lot of money. Instead of 80, I'll pick up the 30 quid. I'm so nice. Oh, it's 50 for shipping. And even then we're like, okay, well, can I pay on pick? Can I pay you when you drop it off? I'm like, no, because it's not me, it's a courier. I said, and okay, then another day went by. I'm like, for God's sake, I just want to get it sent. And they said, okay, I'll pay it on Friday. I'm like, no, I can't, I've got to pay for it before it ships. But like, I'll pay it Friday, but can I have the stuff now? I'm like, no, not really. But I just want to get this engaged on the system so it can be picked up. So I just get some really odd messages from saying, can it be this and can it be that? I'm like, have you ever had a pallet before? I'm really worried about this now. So in the end, what I did was, it was due to be picked up yesterday, and they say, I'll pay on Friday. I'm like, okay, you know what, I'll just get it out the door, pay on Friday. I'm opening myself up to be had over here. But what I did do just before that, I started a £50 listing. I relisted that pallet at £50 and went, changed it all, removed all the details and went, shipping only, do not buy. And I put that in the listing, pallet, shipping only, do not buy. And then she came back and said, I don't understand, it says do not pay. I'm like, no, do not pay, anybody else do not pay, this is for you. I sent the link, it's an eBay link, do not pay, just pay it. She said, okay, I'll pay it Friday. I'm like, okay, no problem. And then sure enough, that night, I had a load of people ask about it. What is this? Is it a pallet for £50? I'm like, no, it's shipping only. And then someone bought it, 50 quid. I'm like, oh my God. And they're like, do I get a pallet for this? I'm like, no, you don't, it's shipping only. I set it up for a customer. please cancel at your end so I don't get penalised by eBay for having something out of stock. Luckily they didn't, refunded, and I didn't list it back. And of course Friday came and they're like, oh, ready to pay. I'm like, I know, I had a link, but someone bought it. So anyway, it all came to the last minute and I sent them the link and they paid for it. Great. And I'd already booked the collection because I just wanted it gone. And I'd already booked the collection, but luckily it was delayed by a day because their tail lift was broken. The company went to pick it up. So it was due to be picked up today and it was paid. But then she sent an email saying, can I have it to another address, which is it's like down the road. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna cry. So I quickly emailed the pallet company saying it hasn't been picked up yet, can we change the address? And they've said, yeah, no problem, we'll tell the driver. Now, in my experience, that ain't never gonna happen. So we'll see what happens next week when it arrives. But that has just been a super stress factor. And I should have just left it until it was paid, but I felt bad. So, story number 2. This is almost, again, it's a video. These are videos in themselves. So story number 2, a pallet was sold for £205, £1,000 worth of stuff, 47 items. Again, fully itemised, fully excelled. The guy was like, bing, bash, paid, we'll come pick it up. They came and picked it up so fast, I didn't even get an ETA. I was out on lunch, so was G. They came, picked it up, left, it was looked after by these guys. And later on that afternoon, I get some messages saying there's 10 items missing. I'm like, what? 10 items missing? I'm like, oh God, here we go. This is so open to have my pants pulled down again. I was like, I don't need this. I was nothing. I was like, okay, surely not. I said, look at the Excel listing. I'll email this to you. That's every LPN number. It's literally scanned and boxed, scanned and palletized. Then it's sealed. It's pictured, sealed, sits out there. There's nowhere it can be. There's nowhere it can go. And these guys loaded it, there's 2 of them, and they loaded it into the car item by item. And they were like, and he came back and said, well, it was 10 short when we put it into the car, but there was no one to talk to. Well, there was 2 people here that they could have talked to. And I went back and said that. They're like, yeah, but because they weren't sure which pallet it was to go, they had to forage around. I wasn't sure if they would know what I was talking about, so they would have called me, but fine, I was only 20 minutes away, if that, 15 minutes away. So now I'm in that awkward situation where I'm like, you're trying to con me because you know I haven't got a leg to stand on. If you go to eBay, they'll sanction a return. Even though I can put no returns, as a business seller on eBay, I have to give returns. So you could return 37 items and go, well, that's how what I got. And I'm like, I'm stuffed. So I went, but then they're probably feeling the same way. This is what I don't have an answer to this. I don't know what's happened. I could have had my pants pulled down, but then it could be real, and what they're seeing is real. It could be, or anything in between. That is the grey area that this situation's caused. A frustration. No, but he rang up anyway. So he rang up and I spoke to him. I said, mate, seriously, if you thought there was an issue there and then, you should have just said and not driven away. He's like, right, there's 18 working and 8 not working. I said, that's irrelevant. You bought this under the gamble that you will make money from it, but that's the returns game. He's like, yeah, that's no problem. I'm like, but why have you said that? Is it that you've checked it all and it's not up to what you thought it would be? He's new to this as well, and his business partner. And I wanted to be skeptical. I wanted to be helpful, but I was also very skeptical, knowing that how many people have had to try it on recently. There was nowhere to go for this for Neil. There really wasn't. There is nothing left in the warehouse. Everything is palletized, so I have no clue where it's gone. It was adamant, adamant. So I don't know where it's gone. I don't know what the issue is. I never will. But what I do know is I'm wasting a lot of time trying to deal with this. So I said to him, what I suggest is that, and this is how B-Stock do it, is we'll see what's missing, work out the RRP value of it all. So it's 20% of what should be in the pallets missing. You take 20% of what you've actually paid for it off. When he did the sums initially, it was about 20 quid. I hadn't done the sums, but to be perfectly honest, because a lot of these items that were missing were £1, £3, £4 items, and a few £30 items. So how it worked out, it probably would have only been about 20 quid that I had to refund him. He wasn't happy with that. I'm like, for God's sake, I don't need to be wasting my time on this. I am right in a corner. I can't prove anything either way. So I said, look, of course you'd be happy if I gave you 20% back or 25%, 50 quid. And he's like, yeah, I said, that's not gonna happen. But look, to be honest, let's just settle at 40. Gave him £40 refund. And chances are, I don't know what's gone on. I have no answers. So I cannot say that this guy, and he's probably watching because you know what, I would be. And I think he's quite possibly going to buy some more stuff from me. So that's a saving grace, and it make a good stable customer and make some more money off in the future. But everything that we've done has been scanned on it. There was no explanation. So I'm not going to call him a scammer, and he's probably, hopefully, not going to call me a scammer, and we'll do business into the future and we'll sell into the sunset. And this was just an anomaly. But it will allow us to do a couple of things this end. Double check what goes in them. Maybe we have all the weights as well, so maybe we'll start to get some scales and weigh pallets. Maybe when people come and picking them up, we will count them out and we'll make sure that they, or even sign something saying they're 100% happy. I don't know, but you end up spending so long with red tape, and this is, again, the whole ethos behind this is speed. Is you end up so much red tape and having to argue with people. It's not my bag. So there we go. A very strange situation. I have no answer, but cheers. Let's hope that we do business into the future. And he was a nice enough chap. Quick resolution is what we both needed, so we could crack on with what we're doing. Hopefully he will gain profit from the items that he has. And you know, one more, somebody that bought a new pallet, a pallet at the beginning of this, they bought the last pallet as well. So they must be happy. So it's a case of just getting return custom. And what we won't stand is any other spurious events happening on this one customer, because we'll know that there's something else at play, but I'm sure that won't be the case. Woo! So that's pallets for you guys. A lot harder than I thought it would be, a lot more time consuming than I thought it would be. As profitable as I thought it would be? No, but it's part of the grand plan, the bigger, grander scheme of things. So it may well work out quite nicely, or it may not. Keep peeled, like and subscribe and do all that sort of thing. Keep watching my content. Any questions, drop them below. I'm Neil, I need a drink and a weekend. Take it easy.